All right. In this video, I thought I would share with you real life examples of clients means individuals who got married to the wrong female, and how the female actually destroyed their lives. These are not fake stories, these are real stories from real clients. Only thing is, I've changed the specifics because, they value their privacy. So just give me a second. So, the point and purpose of sharing my thoughts on this video is not for you to hate on women or have this Andrew Tate kind of approach. Oh, keep those bitches in their places, and listen. You have to be a balanced individual, and just as you want respect, they also want respect. Treat women with respect, but have that sense of maturity where you understand that you have to be the man of the house. You have to take responsibility. You have to, you know, you are responsible for literally everything. You can choose to have your female partner be like equal to you, where you take her opinion on literally everything, or which is one of the worst, is where men put women on a pedestal and they become more of, like, they call it simp. No? They become more like their bitch. So it's up to you, whatever makes you happy. But I take the stance and the position that the man, the breadwinner, should take the leadership position. He should be like the CEO of a company. And, there should be a hierarchy, because always keep this in mind. If you have both two people who both have equal powers, who both have like a kind of a partnership, which they say, in the ideal world, it sounds nice, but in the real world, it's not that easy. And especially when you're emotionally involved with someone, and there is sex, and there is feelings, and you know each other's vulnerability, things can go south very fast. All right. So, having said that, this is my opinion. Feel free to share your opinion, and I'm very sure a lot of the feminists and a lot of the men who don't agree with my point of view will say I'm a male chauvinistic pig. Feel free, I don't mind, but I will give you my point of view. So these are one, two, three, kind of four examples I'll give you. Just let me know which one resonates with you. The first one is, this actually happened. I've taken permission from the client. Initially, he said no. Long story short, the guy, he trusted his wife like a partner, means he was the main guy, he was the main earner. He used to bring in like 80% of the revenue. She used to do a side business. And he's a businessman. He has, I'll not give you the line of business, but just let's put it this way. He has a business whereby he's constantly looking for ways and means to expand. So now he took a loan from various sources, from the bank, from people that he knew, and from even loan sharks, because there was a very good business opportunity for him to invest in. And it was a sizable risk, but he had to give down payment cash. So, which is why he not only took the banks, he not only took from his friends, he also took from loan sharks. Now, here is where the problem lies. He took the money and he signed the dotted line with a clause. And the clause was that if he defaulted on any payment, the interest would go higher. Okay, that means one mistake and the interest would go high for the rest of the entire duration. Like if you took a loan, let's say, for example, 10 years, and you have taken it, for example, at 2% or 3%, if you miss one payment, it goes to 3.5. You miss two payments, it goes to 4. I know you'll be like, hey, come on, man, which world does that happen? Even I thought the same. Even I thought this is bullshit. It doesn't happen in the real world. But lo and behold, it did happen. The guy was supposed to pay the interest amount. Once again, I'll just give you rough figures. Think, for example, the interest amount was $10,000. Okay, interest amount, only interest, because you have to first pay the interest. Because he missed the interest from 10,000, it jumped to 20,000. Not joking, not a fake story, real story. So where he was supposed to pay, for example, 1 million, now he has to pay back 2 million. And it's not because of one payment he missed two payments. Now you'll be like, hey, Loy, if he misses the payment, he is accountable. It is not him who missed the payment, it's his wife. Here's what you don't know. He had entrusted his wife to make the payments on time before the due date, and he went for a holiday business trip. And, he went for a holiday and a business trip and, meeting his mother, father back home. And there were a couple of issues. And he got sick. He also got sick, because of which he was not able to follow up with the wife, which, he normally would ask, did you make the payment? Yes, no. He he did not remind the wife on the due date to make the payment. She forgot. Why? Because she was busy having a good time with her friends. She likes to enjoy with her friends, her relatives. Some people had come down. She went for a short holiday, not outside, in and around the area. Went to another city. Was having a ball of a time. And she assumed that if she made a late payment, there wouldn't be any problems. And lo and behold, she didn't pay on time. So they got slapped with, the interest increase. And see, if you miss out a payment from a bank or you miss out a payment from a loan shark, they will not give you a reminder. They want you to miss it so that you can pay more interest. And she not only made the late payment once, she paid after 2-3 days. The second payment, this time, and by the way, the husband is not aware that she made a late payment once. The second time around, he reminded her, this time he was feeling, did you make the payment? She said, yeah, I made the payment. And then he said, make the second payment. It's coming within 2-3 days. She said, yes. Remember, she said yes. And then she got lazy and she forgot about it. Once again, she paid after a day or two. And as per the clause, the ironclad clause, legal clause, if you do not pay before time or on time, you will be slapped with a higher interest. This guy came back after nearly 2 months. He came back. Once he came back home, obviously, he has to check the finances. He has to check everything. He was checking everything. And then he decided to go for a physical meeting with the people who he borrowed money, because he always likes to be transparent. And lo and behold, he found out that where he had signed that legal contract, that if he misses the payment, now he is supposed to pay double. He was so pissed off, so angry. He shouted, he screamed at his wife. His wife didn't give a fuck. And, she was more like, oh, I just paid late. Why are you making such a big drama? What is the big deal? And he had to slap himself because his wife doesn't know the severity of the problem. In fact, she's a dumbass, I'm sorry to say. And now, where this guy was supposed to pay, for example, 1 million, he has to pay 2 million, just double the amount. And I'm giving you small figures. It is much more than that. And he had taken a loan for a very long duration. Remember, it was a sizable business. So the first story that I'm giving you is to show you that if you hand over your business matters, your money to your wife, your spouse, your relative, anybody, they will not take it as seriously as you. Even if you trust your children, you got to do something, you better do your own shit. I was talking to him and he was very upset, very angry. I mean, he was so angry that he literally wanted to give a divorce. He wanted to literally kill his wife. It was that bad. Obviously, he's not going to kill. But because he is madly in love with his wife, he doesn't want to give her a divorce. But man, just imagine if it happened to you, how would you respond? So that's example number one. The example number two is, this one is for a newly wedded couple. This happened some time ago. The guy is a respectable doctor, Indian guy, based abroad. And lo and behold, he got married to this female from the village, from his hometown. And, like every other Indian guy, he brought his wife to, the country where he is, the West. And, he did ask me before you get married. I told him, yeah, as long as you keep expectations realistic and all that. So, yeah, I told him, go ahead. Yeah, I don't see any problem why you shouldn't get married. But I did tell him one thing is, make sure that she understands she is no longer in India. She is in a new place. So she has to uh, first observe and learn and not, embarrass you by any standards because he has been in the West for quite some time. She's a newbie. Oh, yes, everything, yes. Honeymoon phase, everything was nice. That is until you have your first problem or your first drama. And remember, this is a female who has been born and raised with her parents, lived with her friends, lived with all her community people. So now she's in a foreign country where she only knows the husband and where she knows foreigners. So she started to get lonely. After the honeymoon phase was over, she got lonely. She got, homesick. She got depressed. And, obviously the husband is working. When he comes back home, he's tired. He can take you out, he can spend time with you, but that's maximum. And there's a limit how much a female can talk to her parents on Zoom or, on video calls. End of the day, you'll miss if you've been with someone for 20, 25 years of your life, every day you go out, every day you have fun. So she started missing them. And that is where she committed a unpardonable sin. She used to have this habit of voicing her grievances on Facebook. Okay. Now, when two people are married, obviously people will, if your friends will add this person, this person's friends will add you. So now they started gaining a lot of common friends. Okay. His friends were adding her friends were adding him. And lo and behold, all the Goras and all the whites and his circle of friends, because they added her, now her updates were appearing on his feed. So because she was lonely, she started to put, in her native language, she started posting photographs of her crying, sad. And these people, they are of a different culture. In the West, if you start putting your photographs of you sad, depressed, people will seriously think something is wrong. Maybe the husband is beating you. Maybe the husband doesn't love you. And, Google Translate, she started putting, I miss my family. I'm suffering here. There is no love and all that. And very soon, stories started to circulate that, like, if she would have an argument with him, he hurt my feelings. He kind of, the Indian style is maybe sometimes you'll slap or something. So she started putting all that he beat me. Just imagine, beat. Now, this is a beat. You can say this, he beat me. Even, oh, he hit me. This is hit. So because she started putting such statements, not everyone you add on Facebook is your friend. These stories started circulating around his circles. People didn't tell him that. And very soon they started going to his place where he was working in the hospital, where he is perceived to be a kind, gentle, mature, understanding doctor. Now, the husband didn't think much about this. He didn't think that her posts were being viewed by others. He eventually got called by the people in the hospital because they said that we've been watching your posts and we find it disturbing. Many people, they put in a complaint stating that he was abusing his wife. And soon, people, I think, I don't know, what do you call that? Someone complained that he was abusing his wife, maybe beating her, torturing her. The police or someone, I'm not too sure, daycare center or whatever. They checked in with his wife to find out that is he actually abusing her? Is he actually beating her? Is he animal? What is actually going on? Is her life in danger? And she was shocked. He was shocked. It ended up being a very embarrassing situation where an investigation was, set out, and this really destroyed his reputation. Now, even though they sorted out everything, even though he has corrected his wife, but the damage was already done. And I think now in the hospital, everyone, looks at him in a very funny way. It's he no longer enjoys the respect, the aura that he had. That he's a great guy. He's an Indian. Some of them even have spread the rumor that he's a wife beater, because I told you, this is hit. This is also a hit, even though he may not have beaten her with a black eye. So this is the second story where if you get married and your other half puts stuff online and you're not careful, you're not aware of what is being posted on social media with the common friends, can be very damaging. And in the West, if you get a branding or you get a title like you're a wife beater or you're an abusive person, finished. Your life is destroyed. We spoke. I told him, boss, you need to ask your wife to delete all the friends, shut down her this account, create a new one, only add her relatives, nobody else. You don't mix both. I gave him a couple of suggestions and solutions, but I can definitely tell you it's going to take some time because it has damaged his reputation and you can't repair it. The third one, this one was really bad. This happened some time ago. I didn't want to speak about it because it was very serious. When the Spider-Man movie, with the great power comes great responsibility. This particular guy, he's slightly like in his 50s. His wife was in her 20s, and too much of love, foreigner. He took my advice because, she was Asian and he wanted a perspective. And yes, he pampered her way beyond what was recommended. People only get in touch with me when there's a problem. And there was a serious problem. What the problem was, because he is rich, because he was driving, sports cars and big cars and all that, he purchased her one of those big ass like vehicles, Land Cruiser, Tahoe, super power, very powerful off-road vehicle because, she was small and petite and she felt safe in this big car. Here's the problem. Females do not know how to drive big machinery. They just don't know how to drive cars. They don't know how to handle big vehicles. Females and driving don't get along very well. That is why it's always better to give them a small vehicle which is not very high powered. What happened was she was driving this big ass vehicle. See, I'll tell you, these powerful vehicles are very dangerous. She can press the wrong, instead of the accelerator, instead of the brakes, she can press the accelerator. Or if you give her an automatic, maybe she'll just push something and something can happen. And lo and behold, something did happen. As she was driving, okay, the vehicle went out of control. I'm not aware very specific of what happened, but it ended up in a very serious accident whereby the person that she hit, like I told you, I don't want to give specific details. One of them suffered life-threatening damage. It became a police case, but he decided to compensate with a very large amount. So they decided not to take her to court, otherwise she would be jailed. He ended up paying a very huge sum, very, very big sum. At first, they were asking sun, moon, and stars. He obviously had to get his lawyers. She got the lawyers. It started to become a very expensive affair. Finally, when he spoke to me, I said, boss, better put a damage control. Otherwise, if you go legally, this is never going to end. You will lose sleepless nights. Finally, he sat down, negotiated. He ended up paying how do I put it? You could say 10 years of savings, 10 years. He lost just like this because there were like 4-5 people in that vehicle that his wife slammed into. And because of which, he can't dump his wife now. And yeah, the only thing she can do is cry, boo hoo hoo, oh, I did it, I'm sorry, and this and that. But now the damage is already done. The only choice he had was, let her go in jail and let her die forever in jail. Well, he didn't want her to do that, so he didn't want to abandon her. So he ended up losing 10 years of his savings. Just imagine 10 years of his savings. That much like money he had to give off as damages. And well, obviously, then he sold off the car. He told her, no more driving. If you have to go anywhere, we'll get a driver. He will drive you. You're not driving. And he said no to all those perks and benefits. Now, I know you must be saying, oh, sheesh, this is not every day. These are the real challenges married couples face, normal human beings face. We don't think about all this. Like, how many of you thought about, oh, if I give my wife or my girlfriend a powerful car, oh, if my wife is using social media, nothing's going to happen. And like I told you, that example which I gave you first, that money. In my life, this is the first time I heard of something like that, you know. And I'll give you one final bonus before I conclude. This is a current client. I don't want to dwell too much into what's happening. But if you have a female and the female has a habit of shouting, screaming, and especially raising her hand, that in itself is one of the biggest red flags. A female should not raise her hand on you, just as you shouldn't raise your hand on a female. Female shouldn't raise a hand on you. That is unacceptable by any, even if she is petite, even if she is small. These are massive red flags. Throwing stuff, breaking things, shouting. My wife doesn't shout. She doesn't raise her voice. Forget the shouting. She doesn't even raise her voice. The maximum she might do is show a grumpy face. And if a female crosses that line and starts physically hitting your boss, it's going to only get worse. It's only going to get worse. That is why, if you don't stop the hitting, maybe one day she'll take a knife. Maybe one day when you're sleeping, she'll cut your balls off, man. Anything can happen here. And if you have someone who drinks alcohol, oh, finished. Oh, better be careful. So raising hand, disrespecting, you see, just bottom line, disrespecting you, raising her voice, that itself is a red flag. And then if you couple that with raising the voice and bad words and disrespecting you, forget it. It's better you say bye-bye to that person. How do you think I have so much of peace of mind in the house? My wife, apart from just showing me a grumpy face, there's nothing beyond that. Because she knows, she goes beyond that, it's bye-bye. So I made sure that the woman I married, doesn't cross that line. So I hope this added something of value. These are actual stories from actual clients and actual people. I hope they shed some light, and I hope you guys don't make the mistake that these guys have made. And the first story I told you, man, believe me, it shocked me beyond anything else. All right. Anyway, good, bad, ugly. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Love to hear. If you have any examples, feel free. You can, write to me privately. I will make sure that your identity is not revealed if you have a story to share or if it's your own experience. Good, bad, ugly. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is me signing off. You guys take care. Yalla. Bye.